Hey guys, it's Brenda from BrendaTurner.com, and today's video we're covering 5 healthy dinner ideas for you. These dinner ideas are fat loss friendly, anti-inflammatory, and very delicious. I want to give you some variety, some ideas. So here's what we're doing. We've got a steak dinner and some delicious sides. We've got a roasted chicken thighs, bone-in skin-on chicken thighs, Mediterranean skillet. We've got a no-cook salmon salad, and we've got a cauliflower fried rice. Side note, before we start, I follow something called the AIP diet right now. However, I'm going to be saying throughout the video, alert, alert, add some cheese here if you want, or add some, bell peppers here if you want. Make it your own. All that being said, let's get started. We're gonna start with the chicken thighs dinner. To start with your chicken thigh dinner, I'm gonna add olive oil, about 1/4 of a cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of honey, about 3 tablespoons of dried Italian seasoning, about 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, about 1 tablespoon of onion powder. I'm also gonna add freshly chopped rosemary, and I'm gonna add some fresh thyme. Whisk that all together. And now we've got this beautiful, rich, delicious, herby mixture. We're gonna put our chicken thighs in our roasting pan. Make sure you pat your chicken thighs down so they're nice and dry. Now I'm gonna take this mixture, and with my hands, I'm going to rub it generously on all sides of every chicken thigh. Every so often you might see a little nose popping up. That's my puppy, that's Samson. And Samson's obsessed with food. Right, Samson? I need to get a Samson cam because it's just like the funniest thing to watch this guy tracking every single little move I make. Also, get in there under the skin of the thighs. I'm gonna get some Maldon salt on there. And now I've got 3 lemons. Make sure you get all the stickers off these bad boys. Sometimes I forget to take the stickers off, and that's embarrassing. If you got people over, it's a big mess, and they're like, what's wrong with you? And you're like, I don't know, everything's fine, I swear. So we're gonna half and quarter each lemon and pop it underneath and all around, and just kind of nestle these lemons around the chicken. I've also got some shallots, and I'm gonna peel these bad boys open. I'm gonna cut them down the center, and we're gonna nestle these into the pan with the lemons. And I don't know if I said this before. I'm not sure if I got this, but make sure that you salt both sides of the chicken thighs. And now we're gonna have 3 heads of garlic. So you just take your knife and cut down the center of the garlic and nestle those in there too. I like the way that looks. Ideally, you would let this marinate overnight. You certainly don't have to though. You can pop it in the oven. And now I'm gonna put this in the oven that's been preheated at 400 degrees. Now the sides for the chicken thighs, I wanna show you. One thing that you're probably not eating is a rutabaga. So we're gonna do some roasted rutabagas, and we're doing some steamed vegetables. And the roasted rutabagas are kind of my replacement idea for potatoes. Rutabagas are lower glycemic, and they are so rich in nutrients, and they taste delicious. Got some bite to it, and it's kind of sweet. To prepare your rutabagas, you take a vegetable peeler and you peel off the skin. And a really important point with all this stuff is you don't have to cook every meal that I'm showing you every night. It's a really good idea that if you're gonna cook any one of these dinner ideas, to make like 4 times the amount that you would normally eat, and then you cook it once and you eat it for the rest of the week. Cut the ends off your rutabagas and then chop them up. I'm gonna use the lid of my olive oil. That's a little trick because that's right about 1 tablespoon. So I'm gonna use 1, 2, and a little more for good luck. And I'm gonna sprinkle with garlic powder. Feel free to use black pepper and some salt. I'm using Maldon salt today. I'm gonna give that another quick toss. I'm popping these in the oven right next to the chicken thighs at 400 degrees. They should cook at about the same time. And of course, we can't just have rutabaga for a side. I'm gonna show you really quick steamed vegetables. Not fancy, nothing groundbreaking, but listen up. Steamed vegetables are quick, they're easy, and they are very healthy. They're also easy to digest. So if you're in a pinch and you're like, I don't know, what do I do? What do I do for dinner? What do I do for a side? Good old steamed vegetables. You get a steamer pot like this, pop a bunch of vegetables in there, and there you go, boom, fancy side. So I put some broccoli in there. I'm putting some baby carrots, and I've got some yellow squash. So I'm gonna pop some yellow squash in there. And with the steamed vegetables, you definitely don't wanna overcook those. So wait to cook them until your dinner's almost done cooking, until you got like 10 minutes left to go. Then pop your steamer on, put it on a medium heat, and let it steam until the vegetables are just soft enough to with a knife. All right, these chicken thighs look gorgeous. Look at this, stunning. I put these thighs in the oven at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes, and I just made sure that I cooked it until the internal temperature with my thermometer said 170 degrees, 165, 170. And I also prefer a little bit more doneness. I like it to almost be burnt. That's just how I like it. So the skin is crispy and it's all just flavorful and delicious. And what do we do with these half garlic heads? Don't throw those away. What I like to do with it is I like to just give them a quick squeeze. It's like roasted garlic on the dish. There's this beautiful juice from the lemon and the garlic and all of that stuff, and I like to put that on top of the steamed vegetables. And there you have the healthy roasted chicken thigh dinner. This is something a restaurant would easily charge you like 25, 30 bucks for, and you could have it for a fraction of the cost and prep it for the rest of your week. All right, the next dinner we're gonna cook is a sirloin steak with mashed parsnips and some roasted Brussels sprouts. For the steak, I did marinate it overnight, but I wanna give you the marinade really quick and show you how easy this is. As you can see by this video, I don't really measure, so I'm giving you approximations. 1 part red wine, 1 part balsamic, 1 part coconut aminos, about 4 to 5 tablespoons of olive oil, also a generous amount of garlic powder. I put about 3 tablespoons to 4 tablespoons in there, and a generous amount of Maldon salt. I put 3 or 4 solid pinches. I also put in whole thyme stems, 4 chopped cloves of garlic in the marinade. Let that sit overnight. We're gonna let this marinate and we're gonna start on the parsnips and the Brussels sprouts. So to cook your Brussels sprouts, make sure you cut the ends off and then cut each one in half. Got a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. I'm gonna pop my Brussels sprouts on the pan, and then I'm gonna put some olive oil, about 3 capfuls. Again with the accurate measurements, 3 capfuls. And then I have newt. We're keeping it professional here on Lean Secrets. And I'm also gonna sprinkle some garlic powder, and I'm gonna pop some coconut aminos on there. This Big Tree coconut aminos, I mentioned this in a few videos. This stuff is magic. And I'm popping this in the oven at 400 degrees. We're gonna cook it for about 30 minutes. So I've got some parsnips that I chopped up. I've got a pot of boiling water, and I'm gonna add these parsnips into the boiling water. And we're gonna go ahead and strain the parsnips. The parsnips are super tender. You can stick a fork in those. I've got a masher here, and I'm just gonna go for it. And I'm gonna add about a half a teaspoon of some coconut oil and stir that in there. And I'm gonna add some salt. Oh, that's good. That's great. We've got this beautiful steak, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop it in the grill. This grill pan has been heating up and it's hot. And let's go ahead and get our steak on there. And now we're gonna leave it on there for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. All right, now the steak is done to perfection. I know that because I cut a little slice and I can see that I like the inside, the way the inside looks. I'm gonna leave it alone and let it rest for 5 minutes and let the juices get in there. And this is a big old steak. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this into little portions. And we've got a bit of arugula and a microgreens mix, our parsnips. This is like a replacement for mashed potatoes. And then we're gonna put our Brussels sprouts on there. And we did it. Steak dinner, beautiful. Look how stunning, look how gorgeous. This is too pretty to not get on camera. Let me just go ahead and get a quick shot. Oh man, that's beautiful. With Chris who? BLT in the house. And now we're at the stovetop because we're about to cook meal number 3. Meal number 3 is cauliflower fried rice. Cauliflower fried rice with a bunch of delicious vegetables and some marinated chicken breasts. Let me tell you about the marinade for this because it's bomb. I've got coconut aminos, olive oil, juice of 2 limes, the zest of 1 lime, some garlic powder, about 2 tablespoons of honey. I've got the McCalla brand lemongrass turmeric paste. All of that mixed up into a beautiful, thick, delicious marinade. And I let this sit in this marinade for about 8 hours. So let's go ahead and get this in the pan. I got my pan on medium high. We're gonna cook the chicken till it's done. While it's cooking, we're gonna chop up our vegetables. We've got spring onions, cilantro, with 2 cloves of garlic, zucchini, carrots, and some red onions. Okay, and now the chicken's done. It looks beautiful. It's got like golden, crunchy, a little bit toasty edges. It's perfect. So I'm gonna take this off of the stove top, give it a quick little wipe, and I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of coconut oil into the pan. We're gonna cook the onions until they're softened. And that shouldn't take long. That should be, you know, maybe a minute or 2. And then we're gonna add our garlic and our ginger. We'll let that cook until we can smell it, until it's fragrant. And then we're gonna add everything except the cilantro. And the piece de resistance is I'm using frozen riced cauliflower. I've got a whole head of cauliflower in my fridge, but there's gonna be nights when you don't feel like rice and cauliflower. And this is one of those nights for me. I'm actually gonna use half of this bag. I don't know if you guys ever watch Sandra Lee's Semi-Homemade Cooking. Sometimes I'll watch that to just get like a kick. You know, she's so hilarious. But I'm a little bit Sandra Lee on this one because we're also gonna be using we're using the frozen rice cauliflower, and we're also using microwaved bacon. Yes, we're using bacon. Put those 3 strips of bacon in there for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Now to these vegetables, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos. These coconut aminos, they're carrying me through the movie poster. It's coming. We're gonna add our bacon and we're gonna add our chicken. And the last thing we're gonna add is a handful of cilantro. And this is the final dish. It's beautiful. It tastes so good. I'm not gonna lie, I just took 15 minutes, a little interlude break, so that I could eat a bowl of this myself. It's really yummy. Meal number 4 is no cooking. We're doing a nice, easy salad. We've also got the dressing that we're gonna do. This is gonna be so easy, so quick. I've got fennel, and I'm gonna cut the fronds off, but don't throw the fronds away, or at least save a couple. Save a couple of these bits and pieces of the frond. This is actually gonna be great in the salad. I want you, before you put this in your salad, I want you to taste it. I've got a big old bag of kale, so I'm gonna put all this in my big salad bowl. And I highly suggest you do something like this, like at the beginning of your week. Get a big old salad bowl, make a big salad, and then separate it into little meal prep containers. And we're gonna use our mandolin or a knife. Either way, I like to have this mandolin. I use this mandolin all the time. And I'm gonna go ahead and slice my fennel, red onion, and I'm gonna use that same mandolin, a carrot in there. I said this before and I'll say it again. If they serve this kind of stuff at a restaurant, when I order salads at restaurants, I'm so disappointed because they just throw some iceberg in there. They throw a couple carrot shreds and call it a day. And I like to really dress up my salads. We've got purple cabbage. I'm gonna add that to my salad. So for the dressing, we're gonna do 1 part balsamic, 3 parts olive oil, 2 to 3 parts olive oil, onion powder, garlic powder, and some salt. And now here's where the magic happens, my friends. You could leave your dressing just like this and not do anything with it and just shake it up when you want to have dressing and use it that way. That's totally fine. Beautiful way to use dressing. Or you can put your immersion blender. This is $9 on Amazon and I use it all the time, multiple times a week. And I hit it with an immersion blender. And what this is gonna give us is a nice creamy balsamic dressing. So that's now a creamy emulsified balsamic dressing, and it's so good. You can use this not just for salads, you can use this as a dip. You can use it as a marinade too. This is the Norwegian roasted smoked salmon. And side note, this is not wild caught. There's not a lot of wild caught smoked salmon on the market right now. It's not something that you want to like search for. You don't want to go ahead and look for, you know, farm raised salmon. It's not ideal. However, this one's a really good quality. They don't use antibiotics. They don't add color to it. If you are too worried about every little bite of food that goes into your mouth, that's not good either. You know, we don't want to go nuts with this stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and dress it with our beautiful balsamic dressing. And this is our beautiful smoked salmon, kale, and fennel salad for a lazy night when you don't feel like cooking. All right, my friend, we're at meal number 5. Meal number 5 is a Mediterranean skillet. It's ground beef, lots of vegetables. We got some olive oil here. I'm gonna put a cap full of olive oil into the pan, red onions, some garlic. And the rest of the vegetables, we've got some chopped zucchini, some chopped yellow squash, we've got radishes, we've got parsley, we've got some mushrooms, we've got spinach and a greens mix, and we're also gonna add artichokes and olives. So this is like a nice Mediterranean flair vibe kind of dish. Also, if you eat cheese and cheese doesn't bother you, feta cheese would be great in this. Cooking our onions until they're translucent. And then we're gonna add our ground beef. When the ground beef is kind of cooked through but not yet brown, that's when we're gonna add our vegetables. And now to this, I'm gonna add dill, a couple shakes worth, add oregano, garlic powder, zest of 1 lemon. Now the beef is browned, so we're gonna add our greens. You can add spinach. I'm using tower greens, a generous amount, about half of this container. And then we're gonna cook it until everything's kind of wilted and shiny and delicious. Then we're gonna add our lemon juice. Now everything's all cooked through, everything looks beautiful, and we're gonna plate this up. And that is a Mediterranean skillet made super easy, super delicious, lemony, garlicky. It's got all the vibes, the Kalamata olives. And like I said before, definitely add whatever you want to add. Make it your own, boo. I did add at the last minute, and I didn't catch this on camera, but I did add some cauliflower rice in there. All right, we did it. We got 5 healthy dinners. I hope this gives you some ideas and some inspiration to get cooking, get cracking in the kitchen. And real quick, before I let you go, I have something called the Total Transformation Program. That's going to be coming end of February. That's an amalgam of mind, body, spirit practices. I'm in the middle of working on that right now, and it is amazing. I'm so proud of the work that I'm doing that I'm going to be able to offer you in February. If you're interested in getting a discount when it does come out, join the waitlist. I'll put a link down below. You can join that waitlist. If you need any more information about any of these recipes, I'm going to try to put this on my blog before I post this. It will be up at some point. If it's not up when you watch this, it will be up at some point. I love you. You're the best. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're the best. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. I know. I know. Can you sit? You want this? Yums? Oh, right. How about one more? Sit. Oh, you're such a good boy. That's a big piece. There we go. He gets all the yums. Don't worry about it. He gets yums all day long.